Well, hello. How's it going, everyone? This is Ali from the AI Enthusiast. And today we're going to be kicking off the What is AI series. I still haven't come up with a name for it, but I will soon enough. But this series of videos is really just talking about like what exactly is artificial intelligence, and it aims to demystify this buzzword that we keep hearing in the news. Um, you know, in our friends circles, whatever or wherever you're hearing this term, I want to talk more about it and just kind of explain to you clearly what it is and to help you navigate through it. So the purpose of this series of videos is to help people understand what the technology is, where it currently stands, and the different subfields, if you will. Also, just to give practical advice, like how they can potentially navigate through this. So if you want to jump into the field of artificial intelligence, it's really good to just have a high-level picture, like 1,000-foot view. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing. So I am going to get started. All right. So what is artificial intelligence? Well, I guess the first thing we want to define is what is natural intelligence, right? So you have human intelligence, you have animal intelligence. I'm not going to define these two things because hopefully you kind of naturally know that we're intelligent creatures. We can plan, we can do calculations, we can make sense of our environment, we can come up with patterns, we can classify certain things, and behaviors and stuff in our immediate surroundings. There's actually a list of things that actually, people talk about that would determine intelligence, and I'll make a separate video on that. But at a high level, I think we all know what natural intelligence is. And of course, guys, as you are aware, different animals in the animal kingdom have different levels of intelligence. So then the next question is, specifically, if we know what natural is, then what is artificial? It's essentially teaching computers. So a computer is just a collection of hardware and software, basically what you're using to watch this video, right? Whether it's a TV or you're on your laptop or on your tablet, it's teaching your computers to behave intelligently. And there are levels of intelligence, like, how smart is it behaving? So that is the third bullet point there, levels of artificial intelligence. So are you like subhuman, parhuman, etc.? There are different ways to define that in the community. But at a high level, we talk about like teaching the computer, teaching automated systems how to be more intelligent. What we mean by that is we're talking about algorithms. Algorithm is it's a very common word. And I just want to talk to you, just define it. If there's one thing you take away from this slide is, the definition of artificial intelligence, that's the first. And then the second is, what is an algorithm? It's just a list of steps. It's a recipe for doing something. So on the right-hand side, I got myself a recipe for making pumpkin pie. I got it. It's a stock photo, but you can see you have ingredients, you have inputs, and then you have preparation. You have steps that you have to do to get the final output. So an algorithm is from a software perspective, you have inputs, which is going to be an image. It could be a text, text data. It could be like a video. It could be anything. And what it'll do, then you give it a list of steps to do to intelligently perform a task. So maybe you're trying to identify cats versus dogs in like an image. So that to do that, you're going to have input data, and then you have your steps, and you're going to teach it how to do that. And all it has to do is just replicate those steps. And, to a high level, to somebody that's just talking or using to the computer, they're going to be like, oh, wow, this computer can recognize cats versus dogs. So that is essentially what an algorithm is. It's actually what we give to the computer a series of steps to follow so that it looks like it's intelligent, like so that it's actually, showing some sort of intelligence. So that's what it is. And then these two here, this is OpenAI. So you might have heard of ChatGPT. That's, the common term of the day. It's an AI system at a very high level that is that allows you to input like just questions, statements, like asking it to do certain things, and then it'll actually do them in an intelligent manner. And you're not even providing programming code. You're just giving it English, and it's just seems to understand it and seems to be very intelligent software. Then you have Midjourney. So Midjourney is not in the text domain like the OpenAI's ChatGPT is. Midjourney is like a imaging system that allows you to generate images with a text description, yes, but it allows you to generate really cool images. So that's another popular AI system. So these are two popular systems that we are currently seeing. So at a high level, guys, artificial intelligence is just trying to make computers more intelligent. And the way you do that, you provide them a list of steps that the computer can follow. And that's where the clevery, I don't know if that's a word, but that's where the ingenuity and the art lies of actually making these computers show intelligence. So now let's go to the next slide, guys. So let's just quickly define narrow intelligence versus general intelligence. So when you're talking to artificial intelligence folks, or maybe you see some news in the media, they might be mentioning something called artificial narrow intelligence versus artificial general intelligence, ANI, AGI for short. So ANI is essentially you're getting it to do a very specific task very well. A good example of this is actually sentiment analysis. Another example is down here, you have object detection, you have vehicle detection. So ANI algorithm, you're going to label a bunch of cars and you're going to give it thousands and thousands, potentially thousands of images with labeled cars, and it's going to detect cars in the image. You can see the make and the model here. Artificial general intelligence is getting AI to do many things well. So you imagine you wrote some AI, like you wrote some software, and it should be able to do many tasks well. And learning common sense representation of the world, that's another part of AGI. And essentially what it learns from one task, hopefully it can carry it on to another task. An example of this is going to be your self-driving car. So self-driving car, basically this is not only you have to look at and find vehicles in your surroundings, like using the different sensors that are available in the car. But then also you're going to have to identify, pedestrians. You're also going to have to identify potential like man-made or artificial roadblocks. You're going to have an interpretation of the speed signs or like the, speed limit signs, stop signs, et cetera. So there's a lot of computer vision, basically learning off of imagery, but then there's also like a lot of possible additional logic reasoning that you might have to do when you're driving a self-driving car, like when you're teaching the computer to do that. So this is more of an AGI task. And even then, at least in my just from my personal experience, some of my managers, we used to talk about how if you drive a Tesla car or whatever self-driving system you have and you train it up in San Francisco, when you take it to London, guys, they're not driving on the left side of the car. Like the driver's seat is on the right side of the car. So even then, when you take that self-driving system and you drop it into a different country where you're on the other side of the road, you will run into problems. So even there's it's like essentially a brittle system. This gets, you can have really good intellectual conversations about this stuff, but at a high level, there's ANI and there's AGI. And a lot of tasks we can do, we can do them very well, ANI tasks, but AGI is still, there's some ANI tasks that are still very hard to do and we still don't have good performance on as of 2023. But AGI, there's, I think, a lot to be learned here, hopefully, a lot of discoveries in the future, hopefully. But this is kind of when we think about machines becoming sentient. In order for them to be sentient, they would first have to have artificial general intelligence. So yeah, thanks guys. This is pretty much it for this video. We just wanted to go over artificial intelligence, go over some high level terms, and stay tuned for the next videos where we start to go into more details about this field. Thanks again and take care, guys. See ya.